we go. Okay, I'll let my partner know we are recording. I think he's coming upstairs. No, no, no. Tina, we're recording, okay? Okay. All right. Okay. So, hi, Mari. I am so grateful that you're here. And made the time to talk about the course that we're launching very soon and that we do every single year, Mysteries of the Wild Nights, which is a tradition or a set of three traditions that is older, probably way older than 2,000 years. But what I found was that it's at least 2,000 years old. And I think last year you started practicing with us, or was it earlier already? It's been 1 or 2 years.
I think it's been longer
Longer.
than 2 years. Yes, but last year was my first practice with the Wild Knights and that divination. Yes, it's the
Yeah.
first time.
So did you do all parts of it, the locking nights, the winter solstice, and the wild nights together?
I did. I followed step by step and downloaded the guides and the 13 wishes. That was really awesome as well.
Yay. Yay. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. Then we can talk
Yes.
about all of it. So I'm super curious. So the locking nights, they're all about purification and integration of the year gone by. So I'm really curious about which practices you did during this time, whether you were able to show up to it every day or you let it just flow into the rhythm of your life, and what it was like to have the sense of closure with the year gone by.
Yeah, so I did follow. I showed up every day, and it was a really good way to sort of like take stock of each of the months of the previous or the ongoing year that was about to end. Um, it was, yeah, sort of like a doing a reconciliation of my hopes and dreams and what happened in that year and sort of like gearing up to the new year and just having more clarity around what I wanted to manifest. So I really loved the process. It was very illuminating and it helped me just bring more awareness around patterns and relationships.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
did you feel at the end of the 12 locking nights?
I felt like it's a sense of reconciliation, right? Like just looking back at what had gone, what had transpired throughout the year, and letting go of certain things and just bringing more emphasis and more clarity, more of my breath onto the newness of the new year and what I wanted to see reflected in the year. Mm-hmm.
And so when we came to the
Yeah.
winter solstice, where we did the ritual where we made our 13 wishes, did you feel a lot of clarity at that time as a result of the reconciliation? Um, were you surprised at some of the wishes? Would you share more of that experience with me?
Mm-hmm. Uh, yes, I was surprised that some of the wishes overlapped, right? Like, and there was an exercise, I can't remember what it was, but you had prompted us to do like have the clarity on one desire and then ask why we wanted that specific desire. I believe it was 9 times. Yeah, so I did that, and it was hard to really get down to the core of why I wanted that desire, why I had that desire, but it was so illuminating and just sort of getting rid of the noise around that desire I had. So it was an exercise of a little bit of humility, but also owning. at the core what it was that I wanted, which was love and connection. Um, and yeah, so I think it was difficult in the sense because I find that there's a lot of noise around things that we want. But when we get down to an exercise of like, why do I want this? And why is it going to be good for me? And so then we get down to like the primal of like, okay, this is a really good thing to want. I can not justify it, but I can see the reasons why I am
Mhm.
so magnetized by this thing that I want to manifest, which is love. Like I don't know why I'm dancing around the word love and connection because that's truly what it all boiled down to. But yeah, it was sort of like a little bit of effort to reiterate why I wanted the thing, but at the same time, it just gave me a sense of like, oh, I have so much clarity around this is what I want in my relationships. This is how I want to show up in my relationships.
Mm.
So I really appreciated that.
And I love that you share love and connection. It makes, because it's if we look at the world tree in Kabbalah and the sign of Venus, I don't know if you're familiar with it, with all the sephiroths, the world tree, all the realms, and the sign of Venus connects everything on the world tree, and
Wow.
just shows this, because we find it in many traditions that love is the undercurrent or the source of everything. So why would we not have a deep desire to experience it? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, beautiful that you share that. Yeah. Do you feel that your relationship with your desire for love and connection changed as a result?
Yes, I feel that, when it comes to reaching out, um, closer to that desire is easier for me because I can identify like okay the primary objective here of this connection is to be known, is to be of service, is to share at different levels. So again, I want to say the word noise again because I get in my own way of building these connections or reaching out to people and forming new things, right? Birth and new things. So having that clarity that okay, I'm doing this, I'm putting myself out, I'm doing visible things is all towards that goal I have of being connected and being of service and networking and feeling some sort of recognition and feel of value to the
Mm.
society. So yeah, I really I think it contributed in that way, having that clarity around what it was that I desire, and it is still the same desire.
Well, beautiful. You're really touching my heart with your words. I'm also very curious with the reconciliation, and then uh, coming, I suppose, into full acceptance also of your desire, your deepest desires through the 13 wishes in the winter solstice. When we then entered the time of prophecy and divination during the wild nights, were you able, as a result, to feel clear and open to receive the omens for the year to come?
Yes. Yes, I what I like to do is like the beginning of the month, I review those divinations and it sort of yeah brings more awareness onto what's transpiring in my life. And I think that just puts me on a level of receptivity
Hmm.
because then I'm primed, my system is primed for attuning to the beauty I wanted to see, to like the aligned events, the events that are happening, that are unfolding in my life, in relation to what I wanted to see happen. So yes, that to me is magic.
Yeah, I love that. Yes, that is magic. And you also share something that I think a lot of us experience. You mentioned the noise, that there's a lot of noise. It's something I sometimes experience as well. I know a lot of people do, also who'll be listening to this, and just to get through all the noise to a point of truth and of essence is so valuable. Because what happens after the winter solstice, we enter in those 12 sacred nights where every single night is associated with a month of the year to come, the new year that we're moving into. And our dreams that we have, any oracle cards, divination cards, or other divination methods we work with, all are in relation to one particular month in the next year. And each night we burn one of our 13 wishes. And so 12 of those go to the universe, and one we have to fulfill ourselves. I'm very curious, Mari, what practices you did last time you followed through and what you're planning to do this time during the wild nights.
Mm. I so what I did was I followed I pulled a tarot card each day. I listened to the meditation and sort of looked at the card, and through the meditation I sort of allow for whatever I wanted to unfold in my body. So I did some dancing. I did a lot of like body related things, like
Mm.
enjoying meals, being outside. So we were in the winter when we were doing this, and having to imagine the months to come, and you know how the land looks in the spring and in the summer versus the fall, um, was a really somatic experience,
Mm.
having to imagine but also feel it on a felt sense. um, it was really awesome, and I feel like it left an imprint in my body of every time I recalled, okay, January of 2025, this is what I am envisioning, but also my body kind of came on board with that visual that I had. So each month had sort of these little imprints,
Mhm.
somatic imprints that I really enjoyed, because I opened my book and I can see the words written, but my body sort of reacts in a really positive way
Mhm.
about the month.
Mhm.
So that was a really awesome practice.
And those are really wise words because when we go into ritual or ceremony and we take the time to visualize or allow ourselves to have this full being, body, mind, spirit, soul experience of uh, either what we're receiving as omens or what we're participating in weaving for our future through intention setting, it becomes real in that moment and then ripples out. I mean, in my own journal for November, I looked it up this month and there was a lot of joy in there and a lot of overwhelm and just everything's too much work. But feeling this passion and joy and purpose for it. And it was so cool to every time I read those words in my journal to see the parallels, like, whoa, that is what is happening now. Um, it's
Wow.
really wild because I don't know if you have that too with upbringing that sometimes like oh omens and prophecies and divination like is it really true like can it really work and the mysteries of the wild nights and especially the wild nights in the journal are such a exciting way to experience it and be able to check on it what we wrote there's no like rewriting it or changing the
Yeah,
experience. Like you said, you remember it also in your body, how you felt, and it imprints on the month. Yeah.
yeah, yes, yes, that is so key. I wrote about and I wished a lot around relationships, and my relationships have changed so
Wow.
much from the way I show up in my relationships to the people who are showing up to be in relationship with me.
Mm,
So a lot has shifted, and I was looking for that.
yeah.
I
So you feel
welcome those
that's a
changes.
result from,
Yes,
yeah.
I
Wow.
I believe it is. Sort of because it puts more to the forefront what it is that I'm willing to show up for, what it is that I'm willing to go after and
Mhm.
magnetize and put more of my breath into. So I think it brings more clarity, right, around
Mm,
my actions and behaviors.
beautiful. So as a final question, I'm really curious who you would recommend the Mysteries of the Wild Nights to and why.
Yeah, I recommend it to anybody, really. But to be more specific, I think the ability to imagine is a skill. And in today, the world how it is, imagination is a skill that is, in my opinion, needed, is very important, because the opposite of that is hopelessness.
Mm,
And to have a program or activities like yours where it's so easy to follow, and there is flexibility in your programs where people can integrate it in their daily lives. But also, talking about the imagination as a skill, I think it is something that we need to practice, that we need to different ways to incorporate it. And I believe it's what's going to get us out of despair.
mhm,
So I truly would recommend, I would recommend it to anybody who wants to get more clarity around what it is that they want, and to have a more felt sense about their desires, because desires
mm,
can be sometimes very sort of nebulous, right? So the act of writing it down and having ritual, inviting the body and imagination into manifesting our desires, I think it's a very good skill to have.
mhm. And if someone would come to you and say, "Oh my God, I'm so busy, I'm hustling every day, I don't have time for this," what would you tell them?
I would tell them that it is so flexible. Like, I didn't do it, I haven't done every month, um, as it rolls out in the website, but I go back and I pick it back up, and you can set your own pace. I was off during those days at the end of the year, so I was able to do the ritual, as you instructed us. But I think that it is so flexible that you can tweak and take what is able to be applied to your life, and also go back to it later and reference it.
Mm, thanks so much, Mari.
Yes, of
Thank you.
course.